Hello everyone. Have you ever thought why rubbing a simple ice on a bruise helps to elevate your pain faster? Why is there relief when you shake your hand after you've got hurt? So today I'm here to help you simplify these normal day-to-day pain concepts. This is Dr. Devyani Bahel, author of the Medi Study Goes, Oral Surgery Notes and Mind Maps, a quick 5-minute revision tool which we have got for you to help you ace your exams. So without a further ado, let's begin our today's topic. Beginning with the definition of pain, this is a very important question. As given by the IASP, the International Association for the Study of Pain, pain is usually defined as an unpleasant sensory or emotional experience associated with, it may be associated or resembling that associated with an actual or a potential tissue damage. So it is initiated by noxious stimulus and transmitted over a specialized neural network to the central nervous system. These are your basic physiology concepts. So now, how has the pain, which we know as the pain perceived today, evolved over so many years? Let me take you through the history of your pain theories. So beginning with the historical concepts. The first theory was given by Plato and it was known as the intensity theory. He stated that pain is simply associated as an emotion. Next, we come up with the dualism theory given by Descartes. Now he stated that pain through the injury reaches the brain through a pull cord mechanism, which means it is just a one-way pull cord mechanism directly from the injury to the brain. Next came up the specificity theory. The specificity theory, which was a very well accepted theory given by Bell and Monfrey, and it said that pain is actually relayed by specific pain receptors. So these pain receptors are the ones which are known as your nociceptors and they relay the pain from the damaged or the injured part of the body directly to the brain. Now built over this came up another concept which is known as the pattern theory. Now pattern theory actually sought to disagree the specificity theory. Pain relays are through specific patterns and not by specific nerves. So as these theories evolved, we also came up with few modern concepts. The first modern concept said that there is a neuromatrix concept. And the second one was the biopsychosocial concept. So the neuromatrix model said that pain is simply a neural network relay. And this is how you came to describe something known as the phantom limb pain, which means that even though there is no limb, the patient tends to feel pain because the neural networks relay the messages such to the brain. On the other hand, there was a biopsychosocial theory which said that pain is an interplay of your three factors. One, the biological component. Second, the psychological component. And third, the social component. An interplay of these three factors, which means you've got hurt, you're also anxious, and you are also stressed about few other things. Culturally, some things are not acceptable. So an interplay of these three factors can also evoke pain in an individual. Now, as you can see, we had the history and we had the modern concepts. But there was nothing to bridge the gap between the history and the modern concepts. So we got to know something which is known as your Gate control theory. Gate control theory is a very important question from your exam point of view. So we will be discussing this theory in detail. As the name suggests, gate control theory. Gate control theory was given by Melzack and Wall, and it says that pain can be let through or restricted, can be let through or they will be restricted. It is a two-way mechanism from the part of the body which is injured to the brain and vice versa also. I will explain it to you how. This is basically known as a gating system. You think our spinal cord as a gate. Your spinal cord is a barricade or a gate which is blocking or receiving your signals. It will either let the signals pass or it will block the signals. So once an injury has happened, the small diameter fibers like the C fibers, they tend to open the gate. They tend to open the gate and they reach the brain. They reach the brain where the brain is perceiving it as pain. However, when you rub eyes or when you do any other activity such as shaking your hand or creating pressure or even a simple distraction from your pain, so when you are creating such activities, it is activating your large diameter fibers. And what they do is when these large diameter fibers are activated, they pass through the spinal cord gate. Because the gate is already open, they tend to pass through it and they reach the brain. Now the brain gets distracted and is busy perceiving the signals received from these large diameter fibers. And when that happens, automatically the gate over here, which is your spinal cord, it gets closed. Because the gate is closed, your small diameter fibers, which are your C fibers, they cannot pass, and hence this whole process stops the relay of the pain. It's like a highway where slow cars cannot pass easily when fast cars are coming and jamming the toll booth. So think of your spinal cord as the toll booth. Your fast cars are your large diameter fibers which will rush and are modern, and your small cars are your pain fibers which will not be allowed to pass once the fast cars are passing. So as simple as that, this is the gate control theory. To help you answer in your exams, we have simplified it in the form of a mind map, and you have all the required points which can be mentioned in your paper. So basically, the gate made by the large diameter fibers is deemed to be closed so that the small fibers cannot pass through. And this is the simplest concept of your gate control theory. So your very common systems such as acupuncture and TENS, trans-electrical nerve stimulation, works on these principles only because they distract your brain from navigating the pain, and in the end your brain does not perceive the pain which is required. All this results in the inhibition within the dorsal horn to prevent the painful impulses from being transmitted to higher nervous centers. Another important concept is where exactly is this gate located? So this gate is exactly located in your spinal cord in the substantia gelatinosa. Substantia gelatinosa transmits the sensory information from the primary afferent neurons to transmission cells in the spinal cord. So out here I have an MCQ for you which is available very easily on our app. According to the gate control theory, which of the following scenarios would most likely open the gate and increase the perception of pain? So please read the words very carefully. Which of the following scenarios would lead to opening of the gate and increase the perception. Open of the gate. I hope you will be able to answer this. So just to make it very easy, because I started my video telling you exactly what you do when you have pain. You either rub the area, you use a cold compress, or you distract yourself. So the answer is high levels of anxiety and focusing intensely on the pain will actually open the gate and increase the perception of pain. We also have a very different and unique feature in our app, which is the flashcards. Flashcards help you memorize single concepts easily. For example, what is substantia gelatinosa? Substantia gelatinosa is located at the apex of the dorsal horn throughout the entire spinal cord, extending into the caudal medulla. It serves as a major relay and modulation center for sensory information, particularly like pain. So, it is a key site for analgesic action as well. So, all of your analgesics, such as opioids, NSAIDs, they basically act on the substantia gelatinosa, and that is how they control the pain. If you've liked today's video, then please leave a comment in the box below. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends to help them simplify the concepts. Do click the bell icon so that you are notified each time we put up a new video. Happy studying, and do remember to buy our mind map books and subscribe to the app or download the app, available both on Android and on iOS.